Everybody, Jeff Bates is my name. Dole Whip Dad is this channel. I am glad you are here. As I record this, it's the 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. Happy 4th of July. Be safe. What does the 4th of July mean to me? This year, Stranger Things, at least, is among the things it means to me. It means other things too. I'm excited. I actually woke up at 1:30 this morning to start watching Stranger Things. Went straight back to bed, said this is stupid, it'll be on there about 7 o'clock in the morning too. What was I thinking? But where are we in the Stranger Things world as I'm about to start season 3? Well, Joyce is hugging on Hopper. Hopper having breakfast / lunch with, I don't remember his name, the guy that he saved in the hallway there. Mike's having a good moment. Eleven's having a good moment. They get together, Dustin broke all of our hearts. But then it turned out okay. Nancy hooked him up. And obviously Caleb is having a good day too. So the boys, the girls, the family, everybody, we're all in good shape. 11 just saved the planet, universe, Hawkins, I don't know what. Or did she? Everything flips, as of course it will. And we see the big spider monster, I don't know what it is, ready to continue its reign down on Hawkins. I am so ready for this. Are you? I'm going to film these little clips throughout the day. And yeah, let's get to season 3, episode 1. I am excited. All right, finally we get episode 1, season 3, Susie, Do You Copy? June 28th, 1984 is when it starts. Who's Susie? What do you copy? Well, we'll get to that. So we start off shooting a crazy beam into the open gate. Clearly somebody is trying to open the gate that 11 closed. We get the smoking man from X-Files, but he's a Russian military guy. Guy goes all Darth Vader, lifts the guy up. He's clearly a Russian scientist. Then we go full Hunt for Red October. All the 80s movies references. I love it. 1 year later, Mike and 11 are clearly still getting along. Fully not following the 3-inch Hopper rule. And, kissing and singing. Mike is singing Never Surrender. I love the Duffer Brothers so much. I love their use of 80s lighting. But I love their use of 80s lighting. All the neon, all the bright, just in your face. So funny, but their music. I was telling my wife, I could just listen to a radio station of the Duffer Brothers music choices for just episode 1, season 3. I would never turn the channel. Love it so much. So anyway, Mike's rocking out to Never Surrender in between lip locks with 11. Then we go to a mall in 1985. I lived in a mall in 1985. I was a freshman in high school in 85. The North County Fair in North San Diego County was where all the people were at, where all of the girls were at, where all my friends were at, where all my money went. So it was nostalgic for me times a zillion. Until lights go out. And Dustin, lights go out. And then everybody ignores it, no big deal, right? Like you forgot you lived in Hawkins or something. Then Dustin gets home and he's, a little bummed out. Nobody's giving him any attention. And then we go Sid's room, Toy Story. Toy Story, Sid, the bad kid, with all the kind of toys that turn into monsters. 11 has some skills. Everybody needs a friend like 11 to scare the crap out of their friend like Dustin. Anyway, Dustin gets home to the Toy Story welcome home party. And then we go to the Sandlot scene, but kind of in reverse. Creepy Lost Boy, creepy mustache kid, and all the moms from Hawkins. Totally Sandlot in reverse and less sweet. Anyway, I like this scene. It reminded me of the Sandlot. And all my favorite 80s tunes. Are you kidding me? By the way, don't swim in public pools. All the pee. But anyway, then we get the Ratatouille 5K. All the rats run in the same direction, trying to get their Disney medal. I understand. I've been there. But they had too many of those 80s pop rocks, clearly, because they start busting from the insides, which I enjoyed more than I should have. Not a big rat fan, except for Ratatouille. Big fan of Ratatouille. And then we'll get a little flashback to Rudy Samwise Gamgee on the couch hanging out back when things were better. Flashback? I don't know what that was about. And then things start shaking again. Second piece of evidence we see that things are amiss. Well, at least a second. And then we lose our Lost Boy. The creepy mustache Lost Boy. Does anybody else get reminded of the Lost Boys every time that guy comes on screen? He gets sucked down into the Upside Down. I loved episode 1. Just the nostalgia of it alone. I love the group. I love the guys. I love this show so much. Bring on episode 2. All right, chapter 2 of season 3, the Mall Rats. We have stuff to talk about. So it turns out our Lost Boy didn't go in the Upside Down. Totally. Yeah, he talked to the cult people, but it turns out the cult people were him. So we're clearly in his head. A phone call happens, and it shows us that Hopper's little talk went well. At least for Hopper, because the kids are split up. Then magnets just stopped working for whatever reason, just to freak out Mama. Of course, Nancy goes all Geraldo Rivera on us. I like it. I like it a lot. Then we get the new classic line. I mean, somebody needs to make the t-shirt right now. Maybe it'll be me. When Dustin says, she says kissing is better without teeth. I mean, I don't know, but maybe. 11 goes to Max to talk about boys. Lucas and Mike talk about girls. Poor Will just wants to play a little Dungeons and Dragons. Cracks me up. I love them so much. Billy has some more issues at the pool. Billy being our Lost Boy, of course. Gets a little grumpy. Steve and Dustin decide, it's time to learn a little Russian. Some crazy old lady caught a steroid raging rat, which I enjoyed more than I should have. And Nancy has a story for Geraldo Rivera obsession. Then we meet Mayor Buttercup of the Princess Bride. That's always good. Gotta love the Princess Bride. Gotta be happy for him. He gives up the old Dread Pirate Roberts thing, becomes mayor in Hawkins. It's a good retirement plan for any pirate. 11 goes to the mall, which can't be a good idea, right? Another rat goes pop rocks on us. But then it turns into crawling alien goo, which I really enjoyed also. Yeah, it reminded me of the end of the Alien... Well, it wasn't the Aliens movie. It was the Aliens movie that wasn't the Aliens movie. Can't remember what it was called right now. But, at the end when they have the fight and then he turns into goo and he walks away, that's what it looked like to me. What the heck was that? Prometheus. Yes, Prometheus. That's what I'm looking for. So yeah, when the rat turns into Prometheus alien goo, it's getting good. Then we learn that our Lost Boy he's going to build something apparently because he told himself that. Probably not a sun tanning deck though, because clearly he doesn't like the sun as much as he used to. Maybe there's a vampire thing going on. Then 11 turns into all the girls that I knew back in 1985 at San Marcos High School. Those bright prints, the hair. I liked it more than I should have. But then, my gosh, the best breakup line music montage ever when the Duffer Brothers go straight to Cold as Ice right after she drops him like a rock. Then poor Hopper morphs into Dustin. He orders the double scotch. And it's just sad. It's just sad. Chianti, I think he ordered the double scotch in Chianti. I hope I have that right. That was pretty funny. Clark AV Club Myers is back. One of our all-time favorite characters. Glad to see he's back. Thank goodness. Steve cracks part of the code with the help of the Indiana Flyer. And we see Hopper is being watched by an evil Russian. Finally, we learned that Billy is working for the bad guy. So much going on in episode 2. I enjoyed it. The Mall Rats. What a great name. I'm loving this. I am loving this. Episode 3 of chapter 3. Next. All right, the next episode, the case of the missing lifeguard. So 11 uses her powers to see and sees Billy being bad. And in the Upside Down, apparently. Mike goes full Gandalf, what a great hat, which is awesome. And then D&D gets interrupted by phone calls, and it's actually telemarketers. I hate them too, but they thought they were girls. Our girls learn that Heather, our lifeguard, is the missing lifeguard and stuck in a bathtub of ice. Hopper and Joyce go back to the scene of the death of our buddy Rudy Samwise Gamgee. And while it looks empty, we see that they are being watched. Our nerd duo, easier to type than to say, Dustin and Steve, go on a Russian spy hunt, but they end up just listening to a little bit of Wham, which is awesome. Wake me up before you go. Then Robin cracks the code. Now, Robin is awesome. Robin is new, and I love Robin. Will has a breakdown in his fort. I blame girls in general. Nancy and Jonathan break into Mrs. Driscoll's house to find her mukbanging on some fertilizer. You know, as I say this, I start to feel a little bit like the dude giving the D&D Dungeons & Dragons story. Insane, but I'm not going to stop. Our spy goes on a Russian hunt. Hopper gets his butt kicked by somebody. Our spies went on the Russian hunt, is what I meant to say. 11 and Max go lifeguard hunting for Heather and find Janet and Tom, her parents, having dinner with our lost boy. And Heather, what just happened? Did Billy turn into the creepy alien upside down king of the upside down? And all of it happened as we listened to Bye Bye Miss American Pie. I love that song. Drove my Chevy to the... There's a lot going on. Episode 4 on the way. And good old boys drink. Sorry. All right, episode 4, the sauna test. So much happens. So the sauna test starts with 11 having Billy is a bad guy flashbacks. Mrs. Driscoll gets picked up by an ambulance. Makes her very, very unhappy. Billy and Heather have mom and dad tied up. And then as they're tied up, Heather goes and says, oh, it'll be fine. Billy says, sit still. And then our Prometheus goo bug comes and makes daddy and mommy a shake. I don't know what happened there. The boys call a code red, which is never good. Nancy and Jonathan get yelled at by the lifeguard's dad, I guess, who just happens to be the newspaper guy. He fires Nancy and Jonathan. Will tells the Fellowship of the Strange, yes, the Fellowship of the Strange, I like it, that he feels the mind flare in his neck, and he has been feeling them. And we learn that Billy is hosting not only a dinner party, but the mind flare. Hopper chats with Mayor Buttercup UFC style. Our nerd spies make a plan involving air ducts and gumbo. And the boys come up with a sauna test to find out if the mind flare and Billy have joined forces. Our nerd spies hire Erica, who I love. She likes ice cream and sarcasm. After some aggressive Erica negotiations, Operation Child Endangerment gets going, and it's very Bishop and Aliens-like. I mean, remember Alien Bishop? That's good. Then the Fellowship of the Strange gets Billy in the sauna. Nancy, really creepy, a little trap too. Nancy goes to see new Grandma Driscoll. The nerds order some Chinese food from Russia. Instead, they get some green goo, and the elevator goes down. Billy has a heat breakdown in the sauna, but then gets out and takes on 11. You don't take on 11. She throws him through the brick wall, which sounds horrible. And we learn that he has a whole team of hosts, Billy and his new girlfriend, the lifeguard, and all his friends and neighbors. And they look unhappy with the Prometheus goo monster. There's a lot going on. We are halfway through season 3. Episode 4 is halfway through the entire season. And the song that takes us out is We'll Meet Again. Don't know where, don't know when. I'm pretty sure it's just getting awesome and awesome and awesome and more awesome. I love this. Episode 5 is next. All right, we are on to chapter 5, The Flayed. Lots going on. Our nerd spies fall in the elevator. Hopper and Joyce are in another house. Hopper gets into a fight with a Russian Terminator-ish guy. It was a fun fight. Good thing he doesn't shoot so good. Joyce tosses the bad guy a gun. Somehow still they get away. I think the Terminator Russian guy, well, he's a little stormtrooper-like in his shooting ability. Joyce and Hopper blow up the truck engine, and as they are walking in the woods, we see 11 is watching them, telling the guys, the fellowship, where they're at. The nerd spies get out of the elevator and discover something big and people working there, big warehouse maybe, some kind of installation, and they break the bottle with the green goo that's not Chinese food from Russia. We don't know what it is, but it looks acidy, kind of disappears on us, but they use it to get away. The Russian Terminator guy, who shoots about as good as stormtroopers, like I said, finds the exploded car and follows Hopper and Joyce and Smirnoff. Smirnoff finds a 7-Eleven for him. Hopper steals the Todd father's car. Who knew? Instead of playing third base, he got his car stolen in Hawkins. Anyway, Hopper takes Joyce and Smirnoff to see Murray the Lunatic. I love that character. So glad he's back. And our nerd spies find Red Dawn under the mall. All the Russian stormtrooper-y guys and scientists. Of course, nobody sees them because, you know, the stormtrooper thing. Apparently, they're under the mall. Steve finally wins a fight against a Russian scientist. Thank goodness the Russians, again, are horrible at stuff. And the nerds find the beam machine shooting into the gate that we saw in the very, very beginning of the very, very first episode of season 3. Nancy and Jonathan go to see Grandma Driscoll, but she's gone. Instead, they meet Tom and Gary Busey's kid, who are clearly mind-flared up. Busey Jr. chases Nancy down. Creepy Nancy calls the whole time. Jonathan and Nancy take care of business. They each take care of their mind-flared bad guy. The lights flicker as the mind flare gets out of our zombie pals and oozes down the hallway and forms one of the coolest looking monsters ever. The oozes kind of scooch together and it ends with "Rah!" And it was fully awesome. That was episode 5, chapter 5, chapter 6. Coming up next, this is my I'm having fun face. All right, chapter 6, E pluribus unum. Let's get right to it. Our nerds get caught, but 2 get away, the young 2. Will feels the mind flare, and it starts chasing Nancy. It oozes up to get under and through the door, and it's about to slurp up Nancy, like right over her, about to get her. And then 11 comes in, juggles it around a while, tosses it outside, goes right through the wall, outside, onto the ground, into the sewer, where it meets up with Billy and Billy's new girl. And Billy says, all right, it's time. Mayor Buttercup meets up with our Russian Terminator guy. Buttercup gets another whooping. Hopper and Smirnoff have a fight about ices. I mean, I love some ices, I get that. And Smirnoff drives off in the Todd father's car, but like 10 yards, decides to stay. Steve gets beat up by some Russians guys who do not like butterscotch. Which I don't understand because butterscotch is awesome. Hopper and Joyce get Smirnoff to explain what the Russians are doing, which we already know is opening the gate between the worlds. And our 2 young nerds, Dustin and Erica, find a room with all the green goo. Steve and Robin fall trying to get away, and the Russians poke poor Steve in the neck, which apparently is some truth serum. 11 makes a plan to see where Billy went. Elle does her series of unfortunate events, you know, hair tie thing, and goes to find Billy. Billy is now a kid in California surfing with his mom. It gets worse from there. Steve and Robin tell the Russians they're idiots, and Dustin comes in and slays the Russian doctor with an electric cattle prod thingy. 11 finds the source of Billy's anger, and apparently it's at Brimburn Steelworks, but when she comes back, the fellowship is gone, and the mind flare cult zombies, Billy tells 11, can see her. Then the mind flare zombie Billy, I hope I have that right, tells her that the plan has all been about 11. They've been building it up for her, and all the dudes and dudettes who became mind flare zombies all walk into the steelworks, drop down, turn into the pile of goo, Prometheus style goo zombie, and it's building into this big massive mind flare monster. to go get 11, and then her friends, and then the rest of the world. Sounds crazy, right? So much fun. All right, 2 more episodes to go. I can't wait. That's episode 6, 7, and 8. And then we're done. And that brings us to chapter 7, The Bite. Lots going on here. It starts off with fireworks, 4th of July, of course. And there's something in the trees. They stop on the top of the Ferris wheel, look down. Of course, only the little girl sees it. Then we switch to the Fellowship in the woods, in a cabin. And somebody's trying to get in. It's the bad guy, the mind flare monster thing. And it wants 11. We have a pretty epic battle in the woods. 11 barely survives. All the guys, all the gals fight. Pretty epic battle, pretty sweet. I loved it. Then the Fellowship tries to fix up 11's bitten leg, which is bad because the name of this episode is The Bite. And then they go shopping. They need to fix up her leg. They need Band-Aids and fireworks. Steve and Robin and the Nerds spies go to the movies to hide out. Steve and Robin are kind of still tripping out on the drugs the Russians gave them. Hopper and Joyce go to the fair. And Robin and Steve puke out their feelings for each other, which does not go how Steve expects. So then Billy / the Mind Flare, which by the way would be a great name for an 80s rock cover band. Billy Mind Flare. You're welcome. Anyway, Billy Mind Flare goes looking for the Fellowship. Sees some evidence. Smirnoff then at the fair having a good time, about to have a corn dog, just won a Woody Woodpecker. Gets shot by the Terminator Russian guy. Of course, he doesn't make it. Hopper gets in a fight in the funhouse, which is always awesome. Fights in the funhouse. I like that. The Nerd Spies can't get away from the Russians in the mall, but 11 grabs a car and tosses it like a Hot Wheel at the bad Russians. It all looks good. Looks like everybody's going to be okay. And then, of course, 11 goes down, and the Fellowship sees that the bite that we're talking about is 11's leg. There's something moving around down there. It looks more than affected. That's chapter 7. There's only 8 chapters. The Battle of the Mall will be our final episode. I'm loving it. I don't want it to be over with just one more left. If you've waited this long, if you stayed this long for this video, you're my kind of people. Thanks for sticking around. We only got one more chapter. Let's go. All right, this is it. Chapter 8, Season 3. We are at the end. The Battle of Starcourt. 11 is being attacked from the bug in her leg. It's pretty nasty. The Fellowship's trying to cut it out. She's screaming in agony, "Hey, stop, guys. I got this," 11 says. She does it herself. She rips it out. She tosses it away. It starts to ooze and crawl. And then we see it get stomped by the boot of Hopper, bringing the entire gang together, finally, for the last stand, the Battle of Starcourt. With the whole gang together, of course, they start making plans for the upcoming battle. And of course, where do you do that? Right outside of Orange Julius. Perfection. Some of the kiddos are about to take off in the car. We see Billy revving up a car saying, "Hey, I'm here. You ain't going anywhere." He's all revved up for a fight as he's revving up the car. Hopper goes all Rambo on some Russians, takes them out. It was awesome. And then the car, the Todd father, it gets stuck going up. They're trying to get up so Dustin can use his little antenna to talk to whoever. Gets stuck. It's fun. They find Dustin's antenna. It is what it is. Then our monster friend drops down into the food court from up above. Quite epic fashion. It was awesome. One of my favorite scenes because it was awesome. Then, of course, some of the kids are in the food court hiding from the big, scary spider monster. Then as Billy tries, so then some of them are driving away, right? Billy revs up his car, comes at him, is getting shot at just before he's going to ram and maybe kill them. Steve saves the day, smashing into Billy's car, saving them. Only then we see the big bug spider monster on top of the Starcourt Mall. Super awesome. Looked amazing. I loved it. It's awesome. It chases them down the road. And finally then, of course, with everything going and the spider monster chasing them down, we get to meet Susie. Susie from Utah. Dustin Susie. Is she perfect for Dustin? Yes. Oh my gosh. And this gonna be one of the iconic scenes, no doubt. Dustin needs something called Oh my gosh, what was it? I don't even remember. It's called some math. Oh, the Planck's constant, some mathematical nerd equation. Of course, she knows it. Hey, Dustin, Pooh, whatever she was calling him, I ain't giving you nothing until you sing. Say it for me, say it for me. We think he's supposed to say I love you, but no, they break into a duet, singing, of course, the never-ending story. It was perfect. It was hilarious. I loved it. 80s silliness, so good. So they sing the whole song, or most of the songs, felt like the whole song. Per freaking fection. Loved it. And then, of course, she tells them Planck's constant, which they needed because it was a code, and they open it up, and boom. So Susie gives them the mathematical code, boom, they crack the code. Back to the spider monster thing, chasing the car. With our friends in it as Billy chases 11 and the gang. So Billy catches up to the gang, knocks out his sister, knocks out 11's boyfriend, grabs 11, puts her on his shoulder, and drops him off, takes her to the food court and drops her as if a sacrifice for the monster. Hopper gets in another fight with that Russian Terminator guy. It's not going so well. Billy takes 11 back to the food court, like I said, places her down, as the offering. Just as the big monster is about to snack on 11, well, the boys start dropping the fireworks on the monster's head. We knew the fireworks would come into play somewhere. They did. Pretty epic. It was awesome. I feel like I'm saying epic a lot, but it was. As Billy's fighting with 11, she starts talking to him about the beach and his mom, and she understands when it all started and all that stuff. Didn't love that scene. But what does it do? Well, I'll save that for a minute. Hopper tosses the Terminator guy into the beam machine, right? And bye-bye, Russian guy. Billy then blocks the monster from getting 11, sacrificing himself. Joyce flips the switch, shutting off the gate. Everything explodes. The gate closes. The monster's dead. Looks like we lose Hopper. We lose Hopper in the explosion. They leave without Hopper. We never see Hopper. We'll get back to that in a minute. Then we close, I think it's 3 months later, and we see Joyce and Will and Jonathan are moving away. And we learn that 11 has lost her powers, at least some of them, and that also she's moving with the Myers because Hopper's gone. Then 11's talking to Mike, and although Mike can't come to say it, 11 says to him, I love you too, which was very sweet. Then they find the letter that Hopper wrote but never gave the speech to the couple. 11 reads the letter. We hear Hopper's voice saying it, telling us. It was very touching. It was a moment to make us cry. It might have worked. Then we watch the kids say goodbye as Hopper's reading the letter. 11's reading it. And the Myers drive away as they leave Hawkins, leaving Hawkins as the Duffer Brothers brilliantly play the classic We Can Be Heroes. Absolutely perfection again. Perfect song, perfect time. That's it. But then they have an epilogue, as the Duffer Brothers will. We're in Russia. Kamakacha, Russia. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. Where the Russians, we see, have a prisoner. They say, no, not in that room, not the American. Let's get the other one. They grab the other one. He's a Russian. And they throw him in a cage. They open a sliding door. And a Demogorgon, little man with a flower face, eats the Russian guy. That's not the most important thing. What the most important thing is they have an American. It's got to be Hopper, right? And that's where we end. So that's it. That was episode 8, chapter 8, season 3, Stranger Things, and it was great. So there you go. What's to say? Season 3 was awesome. Where does it rank in the season 1, 2, and 3? My favorite? They're all tied. I love them all. So good. I love the Duffer Brothers' use of lighting, their transitions, and most of all, their music. I love that they foreshadow Dungeons and Dragons scenes. They foreshadow what's about to come. I can't wait to watch it again because they foreshadow a lot. And there's just a lot of hints in there. They're just brilliant. I don't know if there's anybody who's doing it right now that I'd more like to interview, meet, get to know, learn from. I think their storytelling is amazing. Visually, it's gorgeous. I love all the characters. They make you love all of the characters. I can't wait for season 4. No confirmation of that. Netflix hasn't said anything. The Duffer Brothers, apparently in a recent interview, hinted that there'll be a season 4. I'm sure they got to sign up all the actors and Make sure everybody wants to come play in their playpen one more time. I sure hope they do. I can't wait. I spent my entire 4th of July today as I filmed this, and it wasn't a waste of any time. I loved it. I loved talking about it. I loved it for my podcast. I loved it for this channel, and I just loved watching it. I hope you did too. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Did you love season 3? What you think of this review? Kind of the longest thing ever. If you're still watching, you are my kind of nerdy crazy, and I appreciate you being here. I think that's where we're going to end it. Thanks for watching. Go do something awesome for somebody. Enjoy the rest of your 4th of July if you're watching it as we video this. I'm guessing most people will be watching it afterwards. Stranger Things, one of the great shows ever. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.